Well, that man has clearly put himself on the map in a big way. He is expected to have presidential aspirations. He won the straw poll at CPAC, as his father did many times before him. And I'm joined now by Wyoming Republican Senator John Barrasso, who was also there at CPAC and joins me now. Senator, welcome. Welcome back. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Martha. Thanks for having me.
You know, we're hearing so much about the Republican Party and what it's going to do to rebuild. And I wonder what your takeaway was from CPAC in terms of who you see as rising stars in your party.
Well, there are a lot of rising stars in the party, but you know, Martha, the exciting thing was that so many of the people there were young. Of the 3,000 people who cast votes in that straw poll, over half of them were between the ages of 18 and 25, and we're unified by the fact that we need to focus on jobs and the economy and the debt and the spending, and we're going to focus on a budget this week on Capitol Hill, and the Democrats' budget just seems to want to grow the government, and we're trying to grow the economy.
You know, I want to play another piece of sound from CPAC. This happened on Friday afternoon, and this comes from Mitt Romney. Get your thoughts on this.
I would urge us all to learn lessons that come from some of our greatest success stories, and that's 30 Republican governors across the country. People like Bob McDonnell, Scott Walker, John Kasich, Susana Martinez, Chris Christie, Brian Sandoval. These are the people we got to listen to and make sure their message is heard loud and clear across the country.
I thought it was very interesting. He said these are the people we ought to listen to. And he included in that group Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia and Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey, both of whom were not invited to speak at that conference.
Well, he could have also included Matt Mead of Wyoming. The governors are in the laboratories of democracy. They know what works, as opposed to Washington, which has a lot of theories of what ought to work, but not necessarily what does work. Governors are making it happen. Many of them live in states where they have to balance their budget every year, have to live within their means. Washington could really take a lesson from so many of these governors, Martha.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of focus, especially, you know, in the blue and purple states, as Mitt Romney said, where Republican governors are doing well. And a lot of people wonder why a couple of those names were not included in that conference, but maybe that matters for them and maybe it doesn't. But there's also this new report that Reince Priebus was talking about, where they acknowledge, you know, sort of the technological shortcomings for one thing, and just the outreach that needs to start now if Republicans hope to have, you know, better results at the federal level in the future. What do you think about some of those initiatives?
I agree. I think it's an important idea. The idea is that we need to be listening to people. You lead by listening, not by lecturing. And the more we're doing listening, which is what so many of these Republican governors are doing, you know what it means to families back home. I was in Wyoming over the weekend listening to folks there. You know what they're looking for, and that is, how will this issue affect their quality of life? People at home believe that about half of the money they send to Washington is being wasted, which is why all the focus is on the fact that, you know, the president has closed off the White House to tours, and unless you're, you know, well connected or well off, you're not welcome at the White House. The American people know that that is wrong.
All right, Senator Barrasso, thank you very much. Good to get your thoughts on this, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Martha.